Hello everyone, my name is Suzanne Wagner and I'm a professional psychic and I'm an author of books that are on Amazon on tarot and numerology and some other different subjects. I've spent my life studying the metaphysical arts and the intuitive arts, and one of my favorite things to teach is actually numerology. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about numerology. I think we all know that numbers mean something. I think we all know that intuitively our birth date means something, and that we fall asleep at night and we wake up and we see the number 1111 and we kind of know that that means something, but we don't often have the map to be able to translate that information. I believe that if God or angels wanted to talk to us on some sort of a consistent basis, one of the things that they would probably do is speak to us through numbers. And in the class that I teach on numerology, it's based on the book that I've written called Integral Numerology. You can get it on Amazon. You can also buy it through me, through my online scheduler online store. And I teach this class. I used to teach it quite a bit, and then I've kind of taken a little bit of a break from teaching while, I kind of shifted some of my priorities around. And now I'm back to teaching my numerology. I love teaching numerology. It is simple. It is straightforward, and it just makes sense to the modern mindset. There are many different forms of numerology, just so you know. So you'll see people say, oh, I had my numerology done on the internet, that there was this free online thing and I did it online. And as much as I love those, which are really awesome, they're really great, the way I do numerology is quite different. And part of the reason for that is that my father was an amazing, incredible mathematician. And so I was raised in a household that was surrounded in math and science. And I recognized really quickly that numbers mean things, patterns within numbers mean things. And then I started studying tarot and recognized that the ones in the tarot were all the same, and the twos in the tarot had a similar context, and the threes represented sort of an energetic flow. And I recognized that there is a pattern of energy that is evolutionary as we move through the ones to the 11s. Now, like I said, there's many patterns and types of numerology, and what I teach is a particular type of pattern that I have used for many, many years, for over 30 years. And so time and time again, I know that the system works because people come back to me and go, wow, that is so remarkable. I actually have psychologists and psychiatrists and doctors and people who have intake forms and have numerology that's right there, that they can actually get some subtle insight into the psychology of somebody, so they know how to ask questions and they know how to find the truth that they are seeking through the numerology. So there are different types of systems of numerology, and they're all incredibly valid. I particularly have a variation of a couple of different systems. So again, there's the Kabbalah, which is a particular system. That's not what I'm teaching. There's the Chinese system, which is, again, a particular system based on a culture and a language, and that is, again, not what I'm teaching. There's the American system, which is very complicated, and Americans love to make things really, really complicated. And that, again, is not what I'm teaching. So the system I'm kind of playing with is an integration of the understanding of astrology, tarot, and yogic numerology. And it's a blend and a mixture between all of those particular systems. And it's really astounding. It's really astounding what you can learn. I had one of my mother's dear friends, she gave my numerology book to one of her friends, and she called me from Houston and she was like, oh my gosh, I read your book and you just explained all of my relationships. I did numerology on all of my family, all of my friendships, all of my bosses, all of my people that I've had conflict. And it just completely explained what the karmic patterns were, what the lessons were to be learned, what the outcomes were supposed to be, how I could best handle that, what I was missing, because my numerology says a particular thing and I'm looking for a certain thing, but their numerology is actually looking for a completely different thing. And that's something I really want to help people understand. Just because you're in a particular pattern of numbers, and you're here to learn certain lessons, and you have certain experiences from past lives, and you have certain karmas that you are dealing with in this lifetime, does not mean other people in your life are on that same path or are even remotely interested in learning that particular karma. And that helps a lot when you're dealing with misunderstandings between people. And when you understand the numerology, you recognize that they're perfectly on their path. They are doing exactly what they need to do for their growth and their spiritual development. And so instead of trying to impose your pattern and your will for everyone to fit in your particular bubble, you start to recognize that there are many different bubbles and there are many different ways that you can move with something and actually still grow and evolve. I think it's very important right now because I think learning to accept others as they are and to see them as perfect as they are, and that we're all on this evolutionary journey together, would possibly stop war and conflict if we could stop projecting ourselves onto everybody else and try to fit them into our box, and allow them to be in their specific place. That would be really powerful. So in the yogic numerology system, you work from the number 0 to the number 11, and anything that's over 11, like if you get a 24, you add the 2 and the 4 together and you get a 6. And you can do this with your name, your phone number, your date of birth. A lot of people do it with their houses. And it's important to kind of notice what you're choosing, because oftentimes what I have found is that I've chosen number patterns for houses that are number patterns I don't intrinsically have in my yogic numerology pattern, which kind of fills out me a little bit more, gives me a wider variety of things to work with. I've also seen people who were having real trouble with jobs, and their name, their numerological name, was a pattern that was not conducive to their highest expression of themselves. And when you looked at their name pattern with their yogic numerological pattern in their destiny, they weren't working together. And with some little changes, like going to your full maiden name, or taking out your middle name, or putting in your middle name, or just putting in the middle initial, changes the pattern. And when you change the pattern, things improve radically. So, or not. So, the numerology class is wonderful. It's going to be taught in Holiday, Utah. The dates are May 6th and 7th, 2017 for this particular class. In this class, you will get a copy of my numerology book, which is a big 8.5 by 11, so you can read it really easily. It's in bigger print so you can see it. And we're going to be doing a lot of graphs, and we're going to really dive into the understanding of numbers and what numbers also mean to you, as well as what numbers mean universally, and then how we can understand those intuitively as well as cognitively. And when you learn to work your right and your left hemispheres together in numerology, you begin to understand the patterns and the sequence of the universe a little bit more. And like I said, you'll begin to understand astrology a little bit better, and you'll begin to understand tarot cards a little bit better also. So it's one of the reasons that a lot of times I start with numerology and people come to this particular class, and then all of a sudden they want to take my tarot class, and then they want to take my palmistry class, and they want to take all these other classes, because they're all connected. And I think in order to be a good psychic, if you can look at things from multiple angles, you get more information, and then you start seeing where that information overlaps or meshes, and that creates a strong understanding of that particular person. And then if you understand the person on a very deep psychological level, you can actually see predictions and outcomes for the future a little bit better. So I hope you come to my numerology class. It's going to be in Holiday, Utah, May 6th through 7th. 2017. The cost for the class is $200. The class starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday, and it runs until 6 p.m. Both days, and I hope to see you there. Thanks. Bye.